I hope you've now gotten your notebook. So I want you to know that I squared is equal to -1. Is that okay? Are you able to remember that? I squared is equal to -1. Okay. Somebody has already mastered that. What if we do the square root on both ends? The square root of it. If I say the square root of 2 squared, what's the answer? What's the answer? No one knows.
No.
You have to take it to 4 and then so this will just cancel and then you have 2. Yes, thank you. So if I say, what's the root of I squared? What's the square root of I squared? Eh? You are now lost? Huh?
What's the question, sir?
What's the square root of I?
question?
What's the square root of I squared? Are we lost? Okay.
The square root of -1.
You're thinking too much now. That is too far. That is too far. I'll give you another example. It seems you guys are lost. 109 squared. What's the square root of 109 squared? Eh?
109. 109, sir.
Why are you thinking too much, you guys? So if I tell you to say what's the square root of 12 squared, what are you going to tell me?
12. 12, sir.
So what changes if I put a letter there? X squared. What's the square root of x squared?
It will be still x.
Okay. What is the square root of I squared?
I. I.
What's the square root of -1? You can't simplify it, right? So I is equal to the root of -1. Is that okay? If you've gotten that, then you've gotten. If you can just remember that, then you're okay with complex numbers. Just combining what we've talked about now with the aspect of you understanding integers, where I understand you know what like terms are, what unlike terms are, then you're okay. All right. So I said I squared is equal to what? The square root of I squared is I, which is equal to the root of -1. So those are the two things. Now I'll start with something simple. What if I say I to the power 3? Simplify it. Express it in the form of I. Simplify that. What's the answer?
-I. -I.
Okay. So to somebody who can't see that, I to the power 3 is the same as I to the power 2 multiplied by I. Not so. Okay, you guys, don't you know that if you say x squared, okay, x squared times x squared is equal to what? Maybe you've forgotten indices. Is it indices what? What do you call them?
X to the power 4.
So when you're multiplying the same base, you add the powers. Don't forget that. So if I'm looking at the issue of I to the power 3, what I'm seeing there, what am I saying? I'm seeing 2 and 1 being added together. Now, from the start of this, we said I squared is equal to what? It's even there. You're already lost.
-1.
Yes, -1. -1 times I. Mhm.
Negative I.
All right, awesome. Okay, so you now get the basic idea there, right?
Yes.
Are we together? I want you guys to be very confident on what we are talking about here.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll still try. Let's try I to the power 4. Anyone to simplify it? Within a second?
1.
Good.
1.
How? So I to the power 4 is the same as what?
I squared.
I squared times I squared, or I squared to the power 2. So -1 times -1. 1. Good. I to the power 5 is what? It's equal to what?
It's I. I.
I. Good.
It's I.
Okay, so we are already from simplifying I to the power 4. Okay. So I to the power 4 times I. Now I to the power 4 is the same as I squared to the power what? 2. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Is everyone are we together? I want a lot of responses because from here you'll be able to, if you're just paying attention and you're getting me, then you're okay. Is that okay? Okay, there's a hand, you can please ask. Go on and ask your question, please. Okay, there's no question then. So we are all okay, right? Before I give you another question.
Yes.
No, kindly repeat.
What am I repeating?
The same explanation on the I to the power 1. I don't know if it's 5.
I to the power 5, we've already built a foundation to say, we understand it's the same as I to the power 4 multiplied by I. Is that okay? Because I is the same as I to the power 1, right?
Yes.
Now I to the power 4. 4 is the same as what? 2 to the power 2. What I'm trying to say is this. In a case where you have x to the power 4, it's the same as x squared, and then I put a 2 outside. Indices tell us you can multiply that to take you back to x to the power 4, right? Right. Are you there, Prudence?
Yes.
Now we're still multiplying by the I. We don't have to forget about the I. Now I squared is the same as what? That's the first thing I told you when you started complex number. What did you say?
-1.
1.
Squared. -1 squared is the same as what?
1.
1 times
1.
I.
I.
Is that okay now?
Yes.
You know, so what we've talked about here should be able to help you simplify. Even if I say I to the power 1000, you should be able to answer it. Okay. Now, I'll give you one more example. I to the power, okay, 7. What's the answer there?
It's I. I.
I. Okay. Others? We are all in agreement is I?
I. Yes.
Okay, guide me. What are we going to do? I to the power 7 is the same as what? How did you simplify it? Oh, you're just guessing directly.
Negative I.
No, sir. It's negative I, because if we say I to the power 4, it will give us 1. I to the power 3, it will give us negative I. So negative I times positive 1 will give us negative I.
Okay. Well, that sounds too long to me. It's correct, but the steps are just too many. What if we said, I want you to get to a point where you always be pulling out just one I, so that you remain with an even number. Okay? So you say I to the power 6 multiplied by I. I to the power 6 is the same as you pull out a 2 now. You have I to the power 2 inside, and then you have got what? You end up with what? A 3 from outside. Multiplied by what? I. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I squared is the same as what? Negative 1. Now, whenever you raise a negative number to an odd power, what does it mean? Is it negative or positive?
It's negative.
Negative.
Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is a negative. So that applies to all the odd numbers. So it will be negative I. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
To help you think a bit, I'll put 19 there. I to the power 19 is equal to what? We are lost. So the same steps I said, if it's an odd
I.
power,
Negative I.
you pull out what?
Negative I.
Is equal to negative I?
Negative I.
Okay, we'll try.
Negative.
So I to the power 18 multiplied by I. Now pull out, we'll remain with 2 inside, so we'll remain with a 9 from outside. So inside we have negative 1 to an odd power, so that is still going to be a negative, so negative y. Good. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I to the power 99. What's the answer? Huh? No one knows.
I.
Okay, the answer is I. Others? So I'm assuming everyone else is solving. Okay. So I98, I. 98, what's 98 divided by 2? In short, what number can you multiply twice to give you 98? So 90 is 45, 8 is 4.
49.
Yeah, I was trying to say 90, 45, 8, 4. 4 plus 45 is 49. So 49 is what? Is it an odd power or an even power?
An odd power.
Mm-hmm. To give you what? I squared is negative 1. Negative 1 to the power 49 is what? Remember 49 is an odd power. Is it a negative or positive?
Negative
It's a
1.
negative.
Negative I, sir.
Okay, thank you. So is it always that if you have I raised to an odd power, you're going to have a negative I? Is it always the case?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay. Somebody doesn't think so. We'll try out the two. I to the power 101 and I to the power 97. I to the power 101 is the same as what? I to the power 100 multiplied by what? I. Now I to the power 100 is what? I to the power 2 to the power what? 50.
50.
Now 50 is what? Is it an odd power? Or even?
An even power.
Even.
So a negative number raised to an even power is what? Is it positive or negative?
It's positive.
So the answer is what? So it's not always the case that it's always going to be
Positive
negative. Okay? So try out that one at your own free time. I to the power 97. And that's why I end with the issue of simplifying the i's if I give you. Now the other thing that I would want to explain to you guys is if we have a plus ib, this part is called the real part, that part is called the imaginary part of a complex number. That is the basic form of a complex number. Okay? Now understand that complex numbers is a set of all the numbers that you know, including the imaginary numbers. Now if you say 2, these 2 that you know as a number, as an integer, as a real number, as a rational number, is also a complex number. How? It is 2 plus 0i. So all the real numbers are complex numbers, but not all complex numbers are real numbers. How? Because I is not a real number, but it does qualify to be a complex number. All right. Now, the operations that you get to perform on complex numbers are as follows. If I ask you to say add 2i plus, I'll do this, 1 plus 2i plus 3 minus I. If I ask you to add these two numbers, what do? Collect what? The like term. So it will be 1 plus 3,
Correct.
2i plus I. So you end up with 4 plus I. That's how you add. Subtraction, you do the same. So we are seeing the aspect of you collecting what? Like terms. So if you're subtracting, you have 1 plus 2i minus 3 plus I. You collect the like terms. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. 2i plus I is 3i. That's the answer. So subtraction, addition, apply the concept of like terms and unlike terms. Now, when you go to multiplication, on the other hand, if you have 1 plus 2i multiplied by 2i plus 3, the same way you understand the multiplication under algebra is the same way we're going to apply it here. So I'll say 1 multiplied by everything in the other bracket. What are you going to say? You have 2i plus 3. That is the result after multiplying by 1. And then if I multiply by 2i, 2i times 2i, of course, you expect to have a 4. Now, I times I is I squared. And then I'll say 2i times 3, that is going to be 6i. Any question on what I've done so far? Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? I'm just confusing you.
Yes.
We have 2i, right? Plus 3. Now, I squared, what did I say? I said I squared is equal to what?
-1.
What other like terms do we have? 6i plus 2i is 8i. 3 minus 4. 8i plus 2. Oh, 1. 3 minus 4 is negative. I'm now forgetting. 3 minus 4 is -1. I believe so. Does that make sense to us? Do we now know how to multiply complex numbers? Do we now know? And then I'll end with this concept. 2 plus 2i multiplied by 2 minus 2i. Let's perform the calculation there. 2 times 2?
4.
2 multiplied by negative 2i.
Negative 2i.
Negative 2i.
4i.
Huh?
-4.
Negative 4i.
2i times 2. I'm now on this part.
4i.
4i.
2i times negative 2i.
Negative
4i.
4i.
4i squared.
Now, what are we noticing? The middle part is doing what? The middle part is cancelling out. They're subtracting. What stands out is 4 minus 4 what? I squared. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So in other terms, it is as good as multiplying 2 times 2 and 2i times negative 2i. Is it true that if we do that, we're going to get what we have on the bottom? 2 times 2 is what?
Yes.
4. And then you have minus 4i squared, right? Now, why is it like that? Why didn't we do the same from the previous example we had? No one knows the answer. But you've learned complex numbers, eh? Okay, so if you have noticed what we have here, we've got the same thing. What has just changed in between is what? The sign. So what do we call such? If you change the sign of a complex number in between. Huh? It's a conjugate, just like you had put it. So, of course, this simplifies to 4 minus 4. I squared is the same as -1. So you end up having a 4 plus 4, which is 8. Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
How many things have we learned so far? We've learned addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Now, one more thing, the last thing we're going to talk about tonight is division. If I gave you 4 plus 2i, and then we are dividing by 2 plus I, how do you divide? It's said complex, like, looks complex. How do you do it? How do you divide? Cynthia, what are you saying?
I wanted to ask on the previous. I wanted to ask if you can give another example on addition before we go. Have you heard my question?
I didn't get you.
Yes, I'm saying that I'm asking if you can give another example on addition before we go. I wasn't so clear on that.
You understand later, or you watch the recorded class. Okay, we're learning out. We've run out of time. Sorry. You can ask me in the group. So here, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is wait, what are we supposed to do? Somebody wanted to respond.
So supposed to say
with conjugate.
So multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate of what?
the denominator.
plus 2i.
Which is what?
2 minus I.
Then on top, what do we do?
You also put the conjugate,
So
the denominator.
essentially, if you're dividing something by itself, you understand that it is equal to what? A 1, right?
Yes.
So in this case, it's like we're not changing the what is on the left. Let's try to perform the multiplication now. So 4 multiplied by whatever is there. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times I is minus 4i. 2i multiplied by 2 is what? 4i, right? 2i times negative I is what? Minus 2i squared. Are we together there? Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, this is a
Yes.
case now where we are multiplying a complex number with its conjugate. So no need of us what? Making things complicated. We just get to multiply the like terms. 2 times 2 is 4. I times negative I is just I squared. Even if you multiply I, the middle part, you just to waste your time, they'll cancel out. So we have 8. If you check the top part, what's happening there? The middle part is still cancelling out, right?
Yes.
So you have 8 minus 2i squared is the same as negative 1. Even the denominator, I'm also going to have I squared is going to be what? Negative 1 as well. Are we together? So this is going to be 8 plus 2 over 4 plus 1, which gives me what? Put 5, 10 over 5, which is like equal to a 2. How? Does that make sense? The answer is a 2.
Answer is correct.
Huh?
Not wrong.
Okay. So I've taught you now division, right? Is there anything that they taught you under complex numbers that you were complaining about that I've not talked about? Hello? So within 50 minutes, we've learned set theory, we've learned even complex numbers, right?
Yes.
All right. So thank you for joining in. If you've enjoyed the class, you can just register and continue, right? So I'll continue on Saturday with mathematics. Tomorrow we'll have biology, and then on Friday I'll teach you chemistry. So we'll now talk about the titration and the other things. Okay. I hope you had a good time joining in. So if you have more questions, you can ask in the group. Study well.
All right.